Welcome to The Signal and the Noise, the podcast about data, systems, and making organizations work better. So grab your specs, your stats, your spreadsheets, and your sanity, because somewhere in the noise is the signal.
All right, welcome for our kickoff podcast here as Chad and I dive in and talk about all things, whether that's manufacturing, quality, AI, all kinds of stuff as our company continues to evolve. Today, we want to really dive in to talking about the updates to 9001 2015 that are coming this year, and we're seeing all kinds of stuff online. So I would love to hear from Chad about what's he thinking and what are his insights into what's coming in the new standard and what do we need to be ready for.
Yeah, so the first thing, all the standards are changing, and we're here to tell you just relax. We've got plenty of time, and there's nothing that's scary out there. So, there's a ton of information available right now about what's coming, but it's all just speculative. There are some drafts that have been floating around, but at this point, there's nothing that we need to do except for wait for the standards to be published.
So recommendation right now, after seeing the draft versions that have been published, when we saw those for 9001 2015, we really encouraged considering some pretty significant revisions to your documentation. What are you thinking now?
Yeah, this isn't the 2015 revision. The 2015 standard, there were some whole new sections of the standard that were added. Section 4 through 6 really were new concepts. Context of the organization, needs and expectations of interested parties, all that was brand new. And so there was a big scramble on how to address it. Plus, registrars were adding additional time onto audits that were, we were able to at least at Ledge, we were able to foresee the auditors shortages that were going to be coming from that. So
which would be worse now. There's less auditors now than there were even then.
So. Yeah. So we were really eager to get out in front of it and get ahead of it, get our clients upgraded while they could early on before the shortages really kicked in. And this isn't that standard. There's no indication that there's going to be additional time required to update. Everything looks like they're going to stick with the standard 3-year implementation policy. So when the new standard's published, you have 3 years to be.
Okay.
So I think that people should make a decision based on when their certificate expires. If it's expiring soon, they might want to think about being more aggressive. But again, we have time. We don't have to wait. We don't have to do anything right now.
We're having that conversation, I think, with new clients who are saying, hey, I want to get 9001 still this year. If you're looking towards the end of the year, we're probably considering we're going to do that to the new standard. I would say, our team here at Ledge is never the maybe champion for all things ISO and all the changes in there, but it's our job to help you meet them.
Yep.
So maybe talk about that a little bit and where we're coming from on addressing the new changes in the standard and how we've done that in the past.
Yeah. Right now, first of all, there's a ton of information out there from everybody. If you look on LinkedIn in the quality world, everybody's posting a ton of AI slop that's just regurgitations of itself, and how much of it is even based on people who have any insight into it. Ledge has a seat on the TAG 176, so we do have a little bit more insight into some of the changes that may be coming than others would. And, there's nothing that we're super worried about right now. Some of the big changes, with 9001, it's going to be, solidifying the amendment from 2024, the sustainability and climate.
We saw the auditors really back off of that after the first year where they were really, really pushing hard on it. And I've seen less and less of a demand for significant action in that area.
Yeah. And then there's also going to be, there's a lot of talk about digitization, making sure that, document control, record keeping, integrating some of the digitization into your QMS formally. And then a stronger focus on resilience and risk with the supply chain.
Yeah.
These are all things that people have been dealing with anyway. So these aren't things that are going to require massive changes in the way people think about their quality management system. We all experienced the supply chain issues after COVID, and people put things in place to address it, and we got through it.
Yeah.
So some of that we might have to formalize, but nothing too scary there.
Well, and I like the idea of formalizing that, because I do see some companies falling back into price is the only driver, and it becomes really easy to go that route. And if we can build some more structure into, let's make sure we have, that variability in the supply chain that can eliminate some of that risk. But that should already be built into their system.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's nothing too terrible. As far as timelines go, ISO 9001 looks like September 2026 is when they expect that release. ISO 14001 is probably going to be the first one to come out here. They're saying in April. Again, though, you have a 3-year transition period. The ISO 14001, again, they're going to be solidifying that amendment from 2024 for climate change, making some relatively minor changes to the text and clauses, and expanding some of the guidance in Annex A, which most people don't even know that Annex A is a thing.
All right. How about aerospace? What's that looking like?
Yeah, aerospace is probably a bit longer of a transition. They're going to wait until the 9001 is completed. It's built on 9001. This year, IAQG is going to be doing a little bit of a transition from AS 9100 to IA 9100. So there's more of an international component there. So
Gotcha.
It's going to be international. So it's still going to be built on 9001, and probably some concepts like quality culture are going to be added into it, incorporating APQP, which is currently the AS 9145.
Okay.
So that's something that APQP is something that we're very familiar with working with
our automotive clients.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, and I see a lot of that being pushed to the aerospace clients that we work with today. So they're starting to have to do that. It feels like the folks are leaving automotive and now work in an aerospace company and bringing that stuff along with them. So we're doing that training and rolling that out today. Most companies are really being forced into providing that documentation.
Yep. Yeah. PPAPs with aerospace companies. We've gotten a lot of calls for that in the last year or two.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And, sometimes that's tough when they don't have the quantities to justify some of the tests that the clients are asking for.
Yeah. It makes some of the statistics a little bit tricky.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Some last words. What do people need to be worried about? Do they need to be stressed out about this thing?
Nothing.
Everybody
should just take a deep breath and relax. Wait for the standards to come out. Wait for the final drafts to be published. And take your time. Make sure you're doing things right. Don't fall for any of the maybe fear mongering on social media. This isn't going to be that bad, and a lot of people are just using this as a marketing tool.
Yep.
So it's something for them to create content on.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you very much. And as we wrap up our session here today, really appreciate it, and look forward to hearing some more and talking more about quality and manufacturing and all things ledge. Thanks.
Sounds good.